recognize the sky. Titan-class biosignature on the horizon.
Wow.
You are not on Caesura, Pioneer.
No. But that's cool looking.
Seek fresh water intake.
Probably this. I bet they're real easy to grab. Hi, sweetie. Don't be scared. I'm stealing you. You're mine now. Look at him. He's like,
this may be an adaptation to the seawater's anomalously high viral load.
what now?
Oxygen.
That's great. Digestive incompatibility. Cool. I'm more stuck on the fact that you said that there's a high viral load in this water. Oh my god. Are you gonna do the split thing?
Structure located.
I don't care about that.
The location of the main habitat.
No one cares.
Bite trauma detected.
Where?
Flares may distract attacking predators.
I was wondering why it was looking at me for so long. I was like, this feels odd that it's letting me be here. What is that? Oh, there's the rayon thingy.
Oxygen.
Alright, come on. Just look, I'm still holding this thing. And I could switch it, but I'm not going to because it's funny. What are you? Yeah! Well, hi! Well, you're cute. I didn't expect. Yeah? I'm not gonna get you. You're good. Look at your little eyes. You're some kind of crustacean looking thing. Hey! I'm not gonna hurt you. You're very cute.
Oxygen.
Whatever that sound is, needs to not. What's down here?
I can hear you. Sophie says you're a hallucination, just a virus, but I know you're listening. We're so hungry. There's food all around us, but it's poison. Will you help? If I feed you, will you feed us? This is my body, given for you. Just help us eat.
Are we implying cannibalism? That's a beautiful view, though. Hey, what? It just looks like a jelly. It's a jelly, but it has those like elbow-like things, like Magna Pinna. If I can't scan this, I'm gonna cry. Please! 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 Hyacinth. No. No. Let me scan you. Please. 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 Got it! Hey, little buddy. Hey, little guy. You're not little, but...
30 seconds.
Ah! That's not bothering me. Ah! Never mind. However, I gotta finish scanning you. I'm not done. Okay, we're done. We're done. We're done. We're done. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. It's all good. Oh, so that's saying it's where I died, so I can just go there. You! Hello, gorgeous. You're big, you're beautiful. Nope. You come back here now. Is that a threat? Or is it just acknowledging that I'm here? Hi, honey. Are we cool?
30 seconds. seconds.
I guess so. This. It's like a giant... It's a BFJ, everybody. And I'm just gonna tell you what that probably means. It's a big fucking jelly.
You are being hunted.
Alright. Can you stop? I have a knife and I will use it. Go away, you little... I wanted to look at the big frickin' jellyfish. You wanna try me?
30 seconds.
You wanna try? You wanna try? You wanna try, you little dunkel looking thing? Uh-huh. You thought you were smarter than me, but guess what? I ultimately won that round. Alright. We're gonna eventually read all of these. I know that I've scanned a bunch of things and not read them. BFJ! Dactylbrachia gigas. So gigas big. The behemoth finger-legged jelly. A massive specimen with no earthly analog. I'm gonna frickin' go it! That's what you get. Alright, buddy. Ooh, it does a spinny. It does a barrel.
Seek medical attention.
I'm gonna seek you. If I die from Nibbler, that's gonna be ridiculous. Got it!
30 seconds.
What are you? Hi! Oh, there's two of them! Scan Jetopteris. Is that the baby? Hi, I'm not gonna do anything to you. I don't seem to be bothered.
If one of my species finds this message, you may be the very last human being in the universe.
What?
You get to write the last chapter of our story. I ask you to do the most human thing you can. Forget your debt. Forget Noah, forget Altera, forget Zazora and the life you imagined. It's all gone now. You're going to die here, and that's all right. Pick the most interesting thing you can see and explore.
Well, that's a lot to process. Look at how cool it is! Are you nice? Wow! Look at how cool it is!
30 seconds.
What are you doing? I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I guess it's trying to find food in the seafloor. I'm obsessed. I love you. You're so cool. Look. And there's like a hole in it. Well, you're really cool. I like you. I don't want any more of that. I need silver. What are you getting, buddy? Oh, there's a hammerhead. Well, don't want to mess with that one. God, I need silver so bad. Well, I'll be off. Ah! Anyway.
I see. There's a ghost here in that biobed. This node is sustaining that ghost. It can't do anything else. You can't get them out of the bed, understand? There's not enough to print. But you can talk to the ghost. If you want.
What?
God. Alrighty. Wait a moment, don't go. I just have to find my... I've lost something. Where is it? Something's wrong, but it doesn't matter. I'm Sophie Boucher. Who are you?
I genuinely don't know. There's all kinds of options here. Okay, I am the ultimate colonist. I don't know. Maybe I'm you. No. I'm the qualified investigator. I am a sea creature is the answer that I want to pick, but I can't. I am the architect of the future. No, or back. Qualified investigator is probably the correct answer.
So Noah sent you. Noah's still online, that's good. There isn't much time. Have you met me already? Did I stop Naima?
I found the name on a bomb. What?
She's going to kill everyone. Wipe out the colony, wipe out any chance we have on Proteus forever. God, what if we're the last ones? Does she hate people that completely?
Also, we have a raider group. Hi. The more and more we find out, the wilder this gets.
The last human in the universe. You remember? Don't you remember? Low memory. Why do I keep hearing that? Where are we? The surgeon.
I figured it
trusted
was
me
you,
to
yeah.
keep them alive, and I couldn't. This planet. It poisons you. People couldn't take it. There was a riot. I knew Nahima planned it. I knew she had to be stopped, so I followed her. But I left an image of
Starvation.
I left an image of starvation.
God, already? Wait a moment, don't go. I just have to find my... I've lost something. Something's wrong, but... it doesn't matter.
Oh, so
So
you only get
Noah
to pick
sent
one
you.
option. You can't, like, pick
Noah's
different
still
ones.
online, that's good. There is she's going to kill everyone. Wipe out the colony, wipe out any chance we have. The last human in the universe. You remember the surgeon. They trusted me to keep them alive, and I couldn't. This planet. It poisons you. People couldn't take it. There was a riot. I knew Nahima planned it. I knew she had to be stopped, so I followed her. But I left an image of myself in a biobed to tell the others. Oh God. Is that me? I'm Sophie's ghost. Maybe I'm dead. Maybe you're the last one.
Great. Well, now I gotta decide if I ask where are we or the last human anywhere. Well, that doesn't make sense because we could literally just print somebody else out, so. Hello, friends. So many new friends, some of whom had to leave so that way they wouldn't get spoiled. But that's okay. That's totally okay. I'm gonna say, where are we?
We woke up in Sleep Bay 3. No cicada, nothing but ocean. We aren't on the Zora. The stars are wrong. There were always rumors the biobeds were alien technology Altera found on Riley's world.
Yep.
What if the cicada found another hint of those aliens and chased after it? Some things are more important to Altera than a colony. Even the last colony. If that's what we are.
Oh, so we still get to ask this question. Perfect. So we get to ask both questions that I really had.
You were there when the Kara came. The hives. The monsters. They sent in the frontiersmen. It was war. The children in my clinic would sing. When the vents start hissing, someone goes missing. Only soldiers come back when they die.
Warning. Low memory. Reducing vivarium resolution.
We were losing. Altera sent out ships to make deep space colonies Mongolian style, in case the Kara broke through the cordon and ate everyone. We might be the last survivors of the human race. And that's why Nahima wants to kill us.
What?
Because she's a jaded burnout who thinks eels are more important than people. She's brilliant, but she's always been a pain in my...
Warning. Low memory. Reducing effective range.
She would tell you that our only future on Proteus is an endless cycle of digital reincarnation and debt slavery. So she'd rather have no future at all. I would tell you she's off her antidepressants and rotten with Macefield. I was trying to stop her from killing you. You and everyone else. She's obsessed with the tree. You've seen it sitting out there like a gigantic virus injecting itself into the world. The tree takes control of all other life, forces it to serve. That's the Macefield syndrome. A viral obsession with the tree and its organs. And the way Nahima serves it is by wiping us out. She's still out there, trying to extirpate humanity from this world and the universe.
And then it has more text that she didn't read. I thought if we could just clear the bloom, the Macefield would stop. But it was never the bloom. Macefield comes from the tree. What? What do I have to do?
I thought Macefield would stop if we cleared the bloom from the tree's roots. But Nahima said that was a 4546B mindset. She said the problem was much bigger than one viral syndrome. I think she was right. The problem is bigger. Bigger than any living thing has any right to be. To end Macefield, we have to destroy the tree.
Updating primary objective. Warning. Critically low memory. Vivarium reset imminent.
Yes, of course. The core of the running tide is wild and clear, and it may not be denied. I think the tree made the proteovirus, and proteovirus is in everything. Every living cell. You're infected the moment you touch the water. You're going to hear voices calling you to the tree's roots. Eventually you'll fall into a trance and drown. You'll be fertilizer. A quiet sleep and a sweet dream when the long trik's over. There's no human future here until we find a way to stop it.
Oh my god! This is crazy stuff! I want to ask this one, but this is the correct answer.
No, I'm not even real. Just enough of my brain to predict what I'd say.
Oh, they gave us
That's
both.
what I'm missing. Everything. The whole rest of Sophie Boucher. If you find the real me, tell her I did my best to be her. I'm not going to last much longer. Tell me, what will you do?
Guess I'm gonna destroy a tree?
Yes, but the Macefield destroyed them too. That's what I believe, at least. Some of them
It's an
survived.
indigenous
They
species.
guard the ruins to the east. We call the site Karakorum. Maybe you can learn something from them. Some trick or cure. What will you do?
So there's other text that's here that she didn't say. Some of them survived. We said that. Okay, so they left a message there, locked up inside this incredible tower. We never got inside. Maybe it's their trick to surviving the Macefield. Maybe it can save us all. What will you do? I'm going home. How? I'm doing whatever I want. I'm going to explore. I'm going to find the cicada. I'm going to help you. I'm going to work off my debt. I'm going home. I'm going to help you.
Not me. Everyone else. 40,000 people on the cicada. Waiting for a chance. Waiting for you. to show them how to survive.
This is a lot more like of a lore drop than I was expecting. This is great. I'm very excited. Too bad my contacts conked out. But I feel I like my contacts. I like how I look in my contacts. But I need to accept that my glasses are also cute. The Jubilee, who am I? Goodbye, Sophie. I have more questions. I always have more questions. I gotta know what this Jubilee thing is.
Fatal error. Out of memory.
Damn it.
Vivarium halted. Fatal error. Out of memory. Vivarium halted. Fatal error. Out of memory. Vivarium halted. Fatal error. Out of memory. Vivarium halted.
What are you? What on earth are you? Is it singing like opera? What? Oh my god! Oh my god, I gotta get out. That looks like a sea slug, like a sack of glossin. A weird sack of glossin, which is saying something because sack of glossins are
30
weird.
seconds.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Hold on. What's this? No, 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 no. You gotta come here. I have to scan you. You have to come right back. You come right back here. I must scan you. I don't know what you're doing. You come right back here. I'm not done with you. No, sir. Oh, darn. I don't want to die. I can't afford to die. I guess we just gotta chase
30
it.
seconds.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
There's so many weird critters over here. Get me out. Come here. Huh? Hi. Don't worry about me, buddy. No, stop it. Come back. I'm not done with you. Okay, okay. Hey, another one of these.
30 seconds.
Okay, once we've gotten to this area, this is cool.
Captain.
What is happening? Did the Jetacars clean it? What the heck are you, bud? Hey, look at that thing. I know it's gonna attack me, but it's not as scary as the Collector Leviathan, so I'm okay with it. Yeah? Oh my god! Never mind! Whoa! Let's not. What? Okay. What is... Oops, that was probably me. Bullet head. Looks like some kind of cephalopod. Bye, little buddy.
Welcome aboard, Captain.
Well, I gotta read that one. Bullet head. The armored squid dart. A swarm predator that attacks by... We learned in real time! A swarm predator that attacks by ramming and penetrating its prey. Is this the mace field, or is it that thing? It's that thing. It looks like an ostracod. Oh, sure enough, it does flashbang you. Well, I want to scan it. Get out. Hey, guess what, friend? I'm gonna scan you. I don't care if you're gonna flashbang me. You can flashbang me all you want, you little ostracod-looking guy. But I want to see you. Oh, no, 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 no. Get off! Let me scan you at least. Catch! Catch! You're gonna do that? You're coming home with me, you little brats. No. Get got. Well, hello to you! Hey! Are you serious? Really? Can nothing be sweet and lovely and cute? Well, now it seems okay. Did it just flashbang me? Here, fishy, fishy, fishy! Here, fishy, fishy, fishy! Here, fishy, fishy, fishy! You didn't even eat it. He ain't gonna bother us. He better not. Okay. We scanned and did everything here, right? Yes. I need that music to chill. I need him to go away. Oop! There's on the floor. Today, Karakoram burns methane to power Xanadu. New telescopes are better. The old tower stands as a museum. Oh? Open Axum door. Use Axum door.
No living thing has disturbed this space in more than 2 centuries. The observatory's water is enriched by oxygen bubblers. Please do not become accustomed to this convenience.
Also the score popping off right now. This is it sounds similar to one of the melody lines from Below Zero. In the year 500 Pi, brave Magi and Vephards returned to Karakoram. They rebuilt this observatory to study the erratic messenger. After the 0 year, when the daughter fell from space, all Axum fled to deep water. The telescope was destroyed. How deep? Long ago, fire users, are they firebenders? Is this an avatar? Called Ardaiaks, built a telescope at Karakoram to spy on the world tree at Xanadu. Oh! Scan orrery.
This is a map of the local solar system and nearby stars, including a pulsar. Matching to TransGov known pulsar database. Estimating distance from Earth.
Far.
Results deferred. Please consult your noetic advisor.
Yeah, I'm sure. I should have known better about this. From Project Hail Mary. I also hadn't looked up at it yet. So they were spying on the world tree as well. They were also sus. So are there twin sons? Music's popping off. Who's the daughter? Did we explore everything? There's more? I'm so excited I could cry. Genuinely.
Analyzing. A tower of bioconcrete grown on an electroformed metal frame. The electrical system is designed to receive external power. Conclusion. The builders also constructed a power plant nearby, assigning alien species designation from TSF A-list. Builders designated Axum.
Did you get stuck in here, little friend? And we built our house right next to this.
Architects, we beg your aid. The world trees are dying. Their angels cry out to us. The trees' roots feed the world, and the world feeds the trees. Each requires other, as we require you. But the roots are rotting. The nuclear heart dims. There is hope. Cross the Great Trench to Xanadu. Find the Veps. The tree's genes may live in them. Find the Veps. Renew this tree. Beware. Cryptos slumber beneath the trees. They fear you. We leave them to your mercy. Analyzing message. The Axum language refers to the Titan-class lifeform on the horizon. As a world tree, there is an alien hibernation crypt below the world tree. Site designation, Xanadu. Site status, unknown.
Thank you for playing. You can continue to explore, build, and enjoy the world, but you have reached the end of the current early access story and progression. We want to thank you for playing and hope that you will join in our open development process as we continue to add to the game in the future. Your support means everything, and we know we make the best games possible with your feedback. Unknown Worlds.
Seek caloric intake.
Really? During this moment? First of all, I just have to say thank you for Unknown Worlds in the first place, for sending me the code in the first place, the Steam code, and sending me a box of nice things, and I can, oh, it's falling, but I can wear this during these streams. I'm so locked in, everybody. Okay. There's creepy music, but I'm not like... They said we're not ready for you to go to the void yet. Subnautica 2 is actively being developed while in early access. This section of the world is under development. Oh no! I was reading that and I didn't see! No! Oh my god, what the? Ah! Ah! Early access preview area building disabled. I didn't think I was gonna build anything out there anyway. Having a thought. It's not a good thought, but it is a thought. I'm having a thought. You ready? Okay. Well, where is it? Because I want to see them. You have been reprinted. Come on! Come on! Whoa! I'm trying to scan it and it's not going. Oh! Hell yeah! Yeah! That's right, buddy! Did you get stuck? Oh, now I'm stuck. Golly gee, I'm scared. Okay! Ah! And I didn't save! Ah! No! No, 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 no! Ah! Oh my god! Where are the alien ruins? Ah! No! Ah! No, my baby! No! No! Ah! No! Why did it save it? No! 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 Ah! No! Ah! Ah! No! And it took my tadpole because I didn't save because I was an idiot! I don't even die from it. I die from asphyxiation.
Print lost to suffocation. Reprinting.
That tadpole's gone. That tadpole's gone.
You're a marine biologist. Why are you scared? A real marine biologist wouldn't be scared.
Listen, when I'm out in the field, I don't have to deal with shit like this. Ever. This is literally the worst thing I've ever had to encounter. I will never have to deal with a fricker like this. And I don't want to hear, oh, but we don't know a lot about the ocean, and so it could exist. No! It doesn't exist. It's not there, and therefore I don't have to deal with it. So I don't want to hear it from you.
It'll try it. Come here. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come here, sweetie. Come here. Take the bait. Take the bait. I prefer that you don't frick with that. Did I scan it? Heck. Come here! Also, where is my tadpole? That's good. Where did it take my tadpole? Oh, there it is. Come here! Now! If you're gonna frick it up, come here. I'm almost done scanning you. No! Oh my god. It really does not like... First of all. Can you stop? You can't even see me. Come here. Oh my god. If I move. Got it! Sucks to be you, buddy! Now, could you please leave it alone? Go away. You don't know I'm here. Oh, good thing I scanned it with this too, because there's those whale things. I'm not gonna frick with them. We can scan those when I'm braver, but I'm not right now. Maybe I am. Gotta get closer. I am brave. I am strong. And I am powerful. And I lost battery. Oh, no, it just got away. I am brave, I am powerful, I am strong. I don't know where my tadpole is. I'm panicking. Where are you? Tadpole. Tadpole. Tadpole, honey. Where did you go? My beloved. There you are. I am brave, I am brave, I am strong, I am powerful. Everybody, they're back! They're back! Well, first of all, we gotta see these. Let's go up and meet them while they're laying their eggs. I want to see them. Look at it. Look at it, the eyes! That's cool. All right, let's go back down. And we're gonna get some eggies. I'm getting eggs, dang it. I need to put this down further. I'm gonna put this down here so I can get their eggies that drop here and then get air. Sound good? Look at the eggies! The ice cream truck is here! It's here! It's here, everyone! They're back! Ah! There go the eggies. Alright. I'm waiting for the eggies to drop. We got one! Look at them all! Come on, come on. Now is not the time for the frame rate to drop. Come on. There's one. There's one. I think. Yes! Yes! This is my favorite part of the game. Ah! I've never gotten 3 before! This is the best day of my life. This is the best day. Also, I think this is really cool that they do this. That they like essentially just drop a crap ton of bubbles with their eggs, and that the eggs are camouflaged to look like
30 seconds.
30 seconds. The eggs are camouflaged to resemble the bubbles. That totally makes sense. My only beef is that I feel like they should drop more actual eggs. Because the typical, if you're like that big of a critter, is to lay a metric ton of eggs. So for example, think of Mola Mola. They will lay an insane number of eggs. They're one of the most fecund, if not the most fecund, of all species on Earth, but I will check into that, or at least vertebrate species. And so they lay an enormous number of eggs to ensure that at least some of them survive. And so this is cool that they'll lay all of these eggs, or lay all of these bubbles with their eggs, and have the eggs resemble the bubbles. But I feel like they should also be laying more eggs. But then again, they're also going around in like a route and just dropping these. So I guess over all of the distance that they're dropping them, then it might work. Oh god, they're disappearing. No! Well, I think that's it. Oh my god, no! There was one and it was right there and I wasn't fast enough. Look at them! Aren't they just so cool? Ah! Okay. So they're going this way. I love the Deepwing Brooders so much. This is one of the coolest things in the game. This is probably my favorite thing in the game. Like, no joke. I just think it's so cool that they hide their eggs in with all of the bubbles. And then that they're so, like, densely packed with nutrients. What? Oh, that's not what I wanted. What a cool concept. Such a cool concept. Because it's so similar to something that could happen in real life, where they're masking their babies in order to protect them, and then they're also like dropping a ton of them in one go. Okay. So where are they? Because now it's hard to see. We've already got one egg. Let's see if we can get more. Where did they drop them? Oh, they didn't drop them over here. Uh-oh. We gotta go back. We gotta go back. So they didn't do... Sometimes they drop them over this way, but they didn't do it this time. So we gotta go this way. And sometimes they drop them, like, they dropped them here a little bit over top of our house, but sometimes they do it more. So it seems like they have, like, a semi-regular... They have a semi... We might miss it this time. They have a semi-regular migration path that they swim around in circles and do. But it does change a little bit. And it makes sense, too, that they would have, like, this kind of large migration that they would do with all of these, or at least, like, a pattern that they would, like, swim around and drop them kind of all over the place. Because that would maximize the potential that more of them would survive and not be eaten. Because if you drop more eggs, then the chances that you have more offspring that survive are much higher. Because in reality, everything's going to want to come and eat these. There's, like, as we mentioned, they're super nutrient packed. Somewhere I have a tadpole, don't know where it is. There it is. And so the likelihood that they would have a lot that would survive is very low, but you're maximizing your chances that you have more offspring that live if you lay a metric ton of eggs, and if they're doing the thing like where they're hiding these. All right, I missed those. Because the way that they laid them this time, and it also got dark on us, so that was part of it. But the way that they laid them this time was different than the way that they normally do it. So they kind of got me off a little bit. Yeah, we missed them. That's it.
Hi! You're so cute!
This is gonna be tricky. Ooh! That's nice. Okay. I'm gonna not touch it, and I'm gonna kind of swim around. Kind of get a lay of it. Because what we don't want to do is wake it up. Okay. So there are different entry points. I'm sure that some are better than others. This is a skill test for sure. A skill test that I don't know if I'm gonna pass. I'm pretty sure if you use the sonic resonator, it's gonna feel it. Not too much now. There are other better places to obtain lithium, that's all I'm saying. Oh my god. Suck it, buddy! I'm doing something silly. Wow! It was like... It literally said, not worth it. Proteovirus. This is the thing I was really interested in. The crab tetramocyte provides insights into the behavior of the proteovirus. Gross genetic transfer. The proteovirus can reprogram cells of one organism, coral, to behave as and become cells of another, the coral crab. This is biologically impossible, nevertheless, it occurs. Horizontal gene exchange. Horizontal gene transfer is the exchange. So this is like, yeah, that checks out. This is what happens with this kind of stuff. Is the exchange of DNA between organisms other than parent and child. It occurs frequently on Earth. Let me look more into that. It occurs frequently on Earth, largely but not exclusively between microbes. The human placenta depends on a capsule protein that was inserted into ancestral mammals by a retrovirus infecting a sperm or egg cell. I don't know about that. Evolutionary catalyst. A proteovirus may have evolved earlier than terrestrial viruses, granting it root level access to biology on this world. If it constantly exchanges genes between species, it may increase the pace of evolution, allowing natural selection to more rapidly search the space of all possible life forms for the best adapted. But most changes are destructive, not helpful. Viruses as free riders. While viruses are common and evolutionarily important, they are parasites. That is correct.
Seek fresh water intake.
I'm reading. That is correct. Hold on. Let me read this and then we'll go back. Databank generation. Oh, wait. And ultimately consume the host's resources for little return. Yeah, so, we'll come back to that. Databank, generation halt, user-facing error, script hook found in bad memory, address, execution failed, resuming generation, manages viral infections into productive roles, assessment ambiguous. Proteovirus may provide life on this world with an evolutionary advantage at the cost of pervasive viral infection. Let's eat. Not eat. Water. We need to get more of those critters. Okay, I'm not done reading that. So, if you don't know, most of my dissertation was looking at host-parasite interactions. And so, parasites, trying to define parasites can be really difficult. This data bank here. Can be really difficult because they don't fall neatly into these headings. Like we want as humans everything to fit into these nice little boxes, and that's just not how nature works. And so generally you can say that a parasite is anything that lives on or inside of a host and it has some kind of negative effect on the host. However, there are many cases, and I can include a paper in the link, one of my favorite papers. There are many cases in which parasites can actually be useful to their host. For example, there is one trematode parasite, which the term trematode is, some parasitologists like it, some don't, but I'm just going to use it because it's what was used in that example. These trematode parasites will infect coral polyps and they'll make the polyps really red. And so it makes it more attractive to butterfly fish. The butterfly fish will come eat those. And then actually, as the trematodes are transferred into that host, into the butterfly fish, they don't seem to have, at least as far as I know, this might have been updated since then, they don't have any ill effects that we know of or that we knew of at the time of that paper on the butterfly fish. And so the butterfly fish end up getting more food, and then the trematodes are able to move on to their next host. There's also cases where, for example, birds that have tapeworms, the tapeworms can suck up heavy metals. And so there's like sometimes positives that happen from having parasites, and so things don't always walk cleanly within specific lines of like different symbiotic relationships. But there's two different kinds of parasites. So you have microparasites, which are teeny tiny, one cell, microscopic critters. So things like bacteria, or you can have viruses, depending on who you talk to. And then there's macroparasites, which are anything that's more than one cell. I study metazoan macroparasites, so metazoan is animal. Although I'm more interested, like the parasites are fascinating, but I usually tend to look at things from the perspective of the host rather than the parasite. But we need a lot of people too that are studying from the perspective of the parasite. But I look at a lot of like host parasite interactions, and I'm really excited about something called sex bias parasitism, where you'll often see that one sex might be more parasitized by one parasite species than the other host is, and it can happen for a variety of reasons. So for example, with males they have more testosterone running around in their bodies to help them with the expression of things like secondary sexual characteristics like antlers or pretty colors or whatever, but at the cost of immune function. So it's called the immunocompetence handicap hypothesis, and it's been difficult to actually research that and find evidence for it, but that's one of the main explanations that people have for why, for example, males might have more parasites than females, but there's plenty of instances in which females also might have more parasites than the males might. So for example, if the females are interacting with each other more closely and they're more social, they might have more contact with each other, which means that they might get more parasites that need direct contact between hosts in order for that parasite to be transmitted. But anyway, yeah, so I love all of that kind of stuff. That's why I have a whole series of me playing the first Last of Us on my channel. I didn't get to do the second one yet. I've played both of those games before, but I kind of like replayed it so I would have an excuse to talk about parasites. Hyacine. Oh, I love it when this happens, when you do the two that are like it's the same genus and species. It's like Mola Mola or Buops, which I lovingly refer to as Boops. But anyway, a remarkable flying predator named for planets that mix a hydrogen sky and water ocean. Gas bag okay. Though descended from the same squid-like ancestor as the houndgar, which we haven't met yet, and other Protean tessis, the hyacinth's mantle, so a mantle is similar to mollusk on Earth, because they have a mantle. But anyway, the hyacinth's mantle is full of buoyant hydrogen. So, I was right when I was thinking that it's like, my brain fried, like a hydrogen balloon. The other thing that it reminds me of is the glass squid. They have, I don't remember what mixture it is on the inside, but they have a mixture that helps to make them buoyant, so that's kind of what it also reminded me of. The ancestral hyacinth probably stored ammonia for buoyancy like many earth squid. Yeah, that's probably what it was. The hyacinth uses bacterial symbiotes to convert this ammonia into carbon nitride, which, when exposed to sunlight, splits seawater into oxygen and hydrogen lifting gas. Interesting. So it's not uncommon that there are many different species on Earth that they live in symbiosis, often mutualistic relationships. Like coral, for example, you have the coral, and then you have the zooxanthellae, which I've been learning is kind of a broad name and not always accurate. And so there's specific algae zooxanthellae that like fall under like one name is what most of them are from my recollection. I'll have to go in and check that again. But they live inside the coral polyps, and they're able to help give the coral its color and help provide food and such, and then they have somewhere to live. And so if the corals get stressed, they'll spit out their zooxanthellae.
Caloric intake.
They'll spit it out, and then that's what partially causes coral bleaching. But anyway, free of most predators, the hyacinth drifts above the sea surface and snags prey with its arms, because I noticed it was dragging that thing behind. That's really cool. The larger hyacinth's gas bag, the more food it can afford to lift and digest. Large prey, the gas bag also kind of reminds me of the nematophore on not broadly siphonophores, but on the Portuguese man of war. So they have the one that kind of sits and floats on the top, and then it has all the tentacles down below. But those are a colony of animals. I don't know about these. Large prey can be suffocated by holding them clear of the water until their gills dry out. Alright. The sails provide steerage in the wind and can be flapped for emergency power. Flammability risk. Any spark may ignite the hyacinth's gas bag with disastrous results. Hyacinths are acutely sensitive to electromagnetic activity and may be forced to shelter in the water during thunderstorms. Interesting. Philosophical musings. Okay. The Buena Vista hypothesis proposed by Malcolm McIver argues that advanced cognition could only evolve when earthfish began to raise their eyes above the water, allowing them to see far enough to require long-range behavioral planning. I'm not familiar with this, but I can check it. If this hypothesis is credited, then the hyacinth, as one of the only discovered protean species that lives outside the water, may be unusually intelligent. Recommendation: avoid areas beneath hyacinths. Monitor for signs of high-level behaviors, such as fertilizing certain areas of the ocean with defecated waste. Crown crab's single-segment body is an illusion. The multiple segments of other protean arthropods are still present, nested inside. When the crown crab molts, it sheds its internal shells through its digestive tract. Regenerative eye stalk. Enormous eye stalks mimic the surrounding anemones. If bitten off by a predator, each stalk is stacked with unspecialized cells, so like stem cells, that quickly regenerate missing eyes. If the stalks grow too long, the clown crab will trim them to avoid drawing attention. Anemone tender. The clown crab provides a valuable service to sessile anemones by ranging out to forage, returning nutrients in its molt and waste. It also grooms the anemones to clean parasites and infections. Fecund stalk. The third stalk behind the eyes is a reproductive organ. The same unspecialized cells used to heal the eye stalks become eggs or sperm. Sperm is released into the seawater while eggs are deposited among the anemones. So here's a question that I have. So in the first game on 4546B, we found out that all of them, it has one sex, so like I would assume simultaneous hermaphrodites. And then I think it said they only reproduce through asexual reproduction, which didn't make any sense to me. But so I'm wondering if these are also only going to be simultaneous hermaphrodites or like one type of sex that we don't know about. Because that's interesting because they can determine if they're going to have eggs or sperm. Are you saying the same individual? For example, this is going to be adult content, okay? Sort of. It's nature, it is what it is. I don't jump at it anymore, but like this is what it's called. So there are marine flatworms that it is expensive to produce eggs and to maintain eggs. And so they are simultaneous hermaphrodites, and what they will do is when they encounter another flatworm and it's time to reproduce, they'll do what's referred to as penis fencing, where they will try to stab each other, and whoever gets stabbed gets the sperm inserted into them, and then they have to fertilize the eggs with that, and they have to like expend the extra energy to produce the eggs, whereas the other one only had to produce the sperm, which is not as expensive to make. It doesn't seem like they're doing that here, but that's something that happens on Earth. Anyway, assessment, sign of a healthy anemone field. Good to know. Caution, script hook is allocated memory for command, generate databank, cloud crab, echo, memory, carve, signature, boa. Remark, a centipede. I think the PDA got this thing's anatomy and reproduction completely wrong. Wow, I was like making all these hypotheses and didn't even finish reading this. I swear I've seen centipedes, a bunch of clown crabs linked up in a train. I think they grow as a single segmented organism, and then each segment splits off into its own crab. So kind of like moon jellies. So moon jellies will have this thing called a strobula, and it has like a stack of what's going to eventually come off and become the ephyra. So that kind of sounds like it. And then maybe they hook up again later. It wouldn't be the weirdest thing we've seen. Metadata author K. Wanderer Wangmo. Cephalopod-like body resembles an octopus or squid-planted mantle down in the seabed with its arms spread to mimic kelp. Pouches of symbiotic bacteria between the arms allow it to photosynthesize. The beak at the center of the arms is plugged with mucus. So the beak, like a cephalopod. Electrical hunting, the forearms contain electrolytes, organs which build up an electrical charge when disturbed by prey. The electrocysts discharge, causing paralysis or death. It is unclear if the prey are directly eaten or if they decompose in a garden around the mimic pylon. Organisms which feed on external decay are known as saprotrophs. Implies kelp. The pylon's cryptic aggressive mimicry of leafy kelp implies that kelp must exist on this world. That's what I was thinking. Most species in Earth's oceans eat to survive, with primary production the conversion of sunlight into biomass carried out by plankton and algae. Leaf kelp were a late evolutionary development. Also, there are some organisms that are able to also, like they're able to consume, but they also can photosynthesize. So there's several sacoglossans, which are types of sea slugs. They are not nudibranchs. Hear me now. Clearly, they are not nudibranchs. They look like them. Sea slugs, or no, nudibranchs are sea slugs, but not all sea slugs are nudibranchs. But sacoglossans, for example, there's like the Elysium emerald sea slug, and then there's also like the leaf sheep, or the sea sheep, or the leaf slug. It's got different names. They all are able to consume algae, and then they steal the chloroplast from those algae and keep it in their own bodies, and it can help them to photosynthesize. So they can eat and they can also photosynthesize, but that's not super common. Cave mouth strategy. Mimic pylons tend to cluster around sea cave entrances, perhaps to feed on organisms entering or leaving the caves. Alternately, and speculatively, they may have been planted there by another species to control access. Assessment: avoid contact to prevent injury. May mark cave mouths. Don't be scared, little man. Oh, but it shows all the elements. Water slug. Tentatively, sea slug hydroclast, a biological enigma that converts seawater into drinkable freshwater. Microbial fuel cell. Removing salt from the seawater is energy intensive. That's true. Nonetheless, the water slug does it, perhaps as a byproduct of an internal microbial reactor that feeds on wasted seawater. Freshwater reserve, a hydrophobic plastic bulb that protects the sea slug from rapid dehydration by salt water.
30 seconds.
I gotta stop reading those as a... This is becoming an issue. Interesting. It's like a whole current or something. Alright, going back to reading. Plankton farm. The slug's water bulb hosts a highly productive plankton species, turning light into food. Freshwater may be necessary.
Seek caloric intake.
Freshwater may be necessary for the plankton's chemistry, or it may be a prison, a way to keep the plankton from leaving. Vampiric aura. The water slug's developed beak has a sharp cutting surface. Possible evolutionary history as a parasite or commensal, tapping a host's blood and filtering out toxins. Assessment. Only nearby source of drinkable water. Advise fabricator cook before drinking. Okay. Case of kidney problems, considering allowing the water slug to feed on your blood. No, thank you. No, thanks. No, I'd rather not. That's so cute! Look, and they have like the little crab eyes. And it looks like it has a little beak. And it had like the cheilopeds, it looks like it has like one part of them is like really big, and then it has the little teeny tiny thing, but then it looks like there's a hole here, just like air coming out of this. We're gonna find out. The Jetacaris, tentatively tripod fronticaris, a three-legged social crustacean that displays parenting behavior, which we saw, which is really cool. So I know that crabs do have, like, they have a pouch, the females, essentially, and they'll, like, have the babies in it, and they, like, can fan the babies and such. And so it's really fascinating when they get a parasite that's known as a rhizocephalin, which is a type of barnacle, Barnacles are also crustaceans, so it's crustacean on crustacean violence. And rhizocephalians are parasites that what they'll do is when they get onto a crab, they will take over, essentially zombify the crab, and they will make the crab care for its own young as if the young of the rhizocephalan is actually the crab's young. And so if they attach to a male crab, what they'll do is they'll actually expand the abdomen so that way the abdomen can better care for the externa, is what it's called. And then it will make the male crab actually try to like take care of the externa like it's its own offspring, even though the males would never normally do that behavior. It's fascinating stuff. But that made me think of that when they said behavior. But tripod body plan, due to early evolution of bilateral symmetry, no three-legged organisms exist on Earth. The Jetacaris legs may have formed from the fusion of 6 earlier legs, 3 on each side. There was also the, I don't remember what they were called. The sea treaders, they had the 3 legs on 45, 46B. The small forms remained independent. Leg jets, evolving from leg-mounted gills, a valve thruster on each leg allows the Jetacaris to hover and swim. Fusing the legs to double the size of each gill thruster improves efficiency in simulations. Feeding tongues. Jetacaris deploys 2 long, flexible radulae, perhaps evolved from the food-handling maxillipids. To search for food, the forelimbs clean and groom the radulae. I know that mollusks have a radula, which is like Velcro, essentially, like a Velcro tongue that they use to rasp algae off of rocks and things. Not all of them, nearly every mollusk has a radula.
Seek fresh water intake.
These appendages are sensitive but capable of regeneration. This suggests that Jetacaris can regrow its nerves, and something in the seabed likes to bite them. Well, that's not surprising that many of these things keep trying to bite me. Parenting behavior. The Jetacaris carries and protects the juveniles of the same species, and its expressive body language suggests a dense social life. Ooh! Because I also do animal behavior. Spectrogenetic analysis indicates that some juveniles are adopted. They are not genetic offspring of the carer. Huh. This would be really cool because they're almost certainly invertebrates, and so I don't know if this happens in invertebrates. I don't have to look into that. That's really cool. Adoption has been observed in many species, though it is a mistake from a rational adaptive standpoint. It may be a sign of instinctive behavior, or perhaps a Jetacaris once lived in eusocial groups with a single reproductive queen producing young that were tended by workers. Assessment mostly harmless, may provide emotional benefits. Do we have them as friends? Sand spear. Databank entry coming soon. Well, I can tell you that it was buried under the sand and then it tried to attack me. So that's all I need to know. Hammerhead! Alright, this will be the last one, then we gotta go. On to other things. Hammerhead, tentatively called Panopelia or Plea Hammerhead, an armored herd dwelling. I didn't know, because I saw them like together, but I thought they were gonna fight. Territorial herbivore with a powerful ram, so there's the territorial part. They're an herbivore? Interesting. Hammerhead challenges intruders on its territory, especially other hammerheads, displays its pectoral fins, and closes its enamel head shield before attacking. So these are all pectoral fins? Jet propulsion. Spiracles behind the eyes feed into the jet channel with internal gills. The jet drives the hammerhead's sudden rams. Large brain floats in a protective cyst. The central eye sees color, while 2 smaller motion-sensitive eyes guide ramming. Grazing jaw. Oh, so that's what that jaw does. Interesting. A muscular vertical jaw suggests a diet of sponges. Sponges are not herbivorous. Okay. Kelps, tunicates, also not herbivorous, and possibly crushed coral. So corallivore. The need to protect a grazing area may have evolved the hammerhead's territoriality, like damselfish, which some of them will make their own little gardens, and they'll guard them with their life ferociously. They're very territorial about them. And then they'll like pick out pieces and move things. Practice behavior. Hammerheads ram coral domes. The adaptive benefit is unclear, perhaps toughening their shields, potentially. Advise caution, especially when piloting vehicles. Oh no. They have social cognition comparable to Earth's ungulates, some of which were extremely dangerous to humans. Ramming areas called leks are a major source of ocean noise. Well, lekking is also a type of reproductive behavior that we don't quite understand. It's kind of confusing. Also, we didn't get to finish this, so I'll finish it. The BFJ. Jelly-like body plan. Even the largest terrestrial jellies are anatomically simple, with a gelatinous bell, a central stomach, and tentacles. By contrast to BFJ, an acronym for behemoth finger-legged jelly. Oh, I'm gonna die. Shoot. Whoops! My bad. I was busy! It's not unlike what happens in real life when I'm busy working. Fine, computer. Stop looking at me. Okay. I prefer what I thought it was. Has complex organs and a sophisticated nervous system. Gas bladders. Most of the BFJ's volume is occupied by gas bladders controlled by a net of distributed nerves that automatically regulate buoyancy. Sedentary BFJs resting on the sea floor flood their gas bladders with seawater. Multiple eye spot. The BFJ's eyes are differentiated, so they have eyes like cubozoans, box jellies. Differentiated into small, sharp-focused eyes and large, wide-field arrays. They focus exclusively upward. Fine muscles in the ropalia. Oh! Wow, they're using the right terminology. Eye clusters can adjust the eye to focus through different classes of seawater and even air, suggesting the BFJ spends time at the surface of the sea. Muscular arms. Unlike the trailing tentacles of most jellies, the BFJ's arms are muscular hydrostats like squid arms. Covered in finely developed sensory hairs, they do not seem to be used for predation. Instead, they seek out chemical resources in the sea floor. Methane-sensing organs are particularly dense at the tips of the arms. Exhaustion. The index BFJ scanned by the user seems to be feeding on sunlight while awaiting an unknown future state in its life cycle. Assessment. Possibly the sea-bound state of an airborne organism. Nibbler mango. Okay, so they renamed it. Fine, we're just going to read all these. Nibbler mango, tentatively mango trucata, a pesky omnivore adapted to scrape feed. It will happily snap at fish, sponges, kelps, and human limbs. Yeah, I've noticed. They just look so silly to me. Just a silly little guy, except they're actually not a silly little guy because they attack me. But I like that they just spin. Tooth-rich jaws, enormous jaws crest, the upper rhinotheca and lower gnathetheca, so gnath is jaws. Crush rocks and dead coral before swallowing. So they're like, well, parrotfish will munch on coral because they're trying to eat algae, but they'll like eat coral at the same time. But these are just eating dead coral, which is interesting. Made of calcium apatite, surfaced in tough vinyl and loaded with batteries of spare teeth, new teeth push up through the core of old teeth, splitting them open, likely painful. Okay. Appreciable threat, not a dedicated carnivore, but territorial and always hungry. Must maintain powerful jaw muscles and a massive digestive tract on a diet of slime, algae, and trash, always looking for more to eat. So if you have a longer digestive tract, then that means that you probably are more herbivorous because it needs longer to like get everything out of that, where all of the nutrients out of that. Whereas if you have a shorter gut, then you're probably a carnivore. But anyway, problematic digestion grinds food in an internal gizzard. There's a lot of fish that have things on the inside that like grind up, like pharyngeal teeth or pharyngeal plates, creating a concrete-like paste, frequently Oh god. As an IBS warrior, I'm serious. Can relate. Frequently constipated as a result. Wow, this sounds like one of those species where it's just like, another peak example of the fact that evolution is not trying to make a perfect critter. Look at koalas. Not an apex predator. May feel larger predators startled by bright light or loud sound. Good to know. Key ecological role, probably a critical recycler in reef ecosystems, breaking down hard debris into free nutrients. Droppings may be metal rich. Social organism. Nibblers may live in family groups or form small cohorts to defend against larger predators. Assessment may be dangerous in groups, distract with flares, and avoid pending any developments regarding useful behavior or droppings.
Seek caloric intake.
Marrow breach, and then we gotta move on. Marrow breach, tentatively mango marrow breach. So these are in the same genus, so they are related, which makes sense. They look very similar in body shape. See, look at that. Similar body plan, so that checks out. Dangerous salation predator. Salation means shark-like. Bone-cutting jaws, adapted to shear through tough, plasticized flesh. Edged in iron and salt tesserae. Bites deliver thousands of newtons of force in 60 milliseconds. Beware of pre-attack behavior such as circling or test bumping. Small eyes, optic nerves connected directly to the jaw muscles, probably for bite timing, may be distracted by bright lights. Sophisticated non-visual senses. Body lined with neural mass and gel-filled ampullae, so they can sense, because you have the ampullae of Lorenzini in sharks, and they can sense electricity. So detect motion in electrical fields. Sensitive hearing, sorry that there's an ambulance. Aware of prey before they are aware of it. Streamlined body. Large caudal fin and muscular peduncle allow for sudden lunges. Squalene-rich liver, interessante, provides buoyancy control. There is no thruster. The marrow breach swims like an unconventional, or like a conventional fish, which I do find it intriguing that they don't have a caudal fin. So the caudal fin is a tail fin, and I don't know how that would actually work. But anyway, assessment: apex predator. Avoid or distract. Investigate long-term possibility of mutual association through cleaning feed. Remember that this is a wild animal. So if I clean it and feed it, maybe they could be nice to me? Yes, I will do. An enormous crab, tentatively, I'm not gonna try that. A hard-legged palace bearer with hides among coral domes. Crab-like body plan. Forelimbs rake and dig for food, which is collected by long, soft maxipellids. Food-handling limbs around the mouth. The crab must molt to grow. Coral dome. A living coral dome cut from its steadfast, cut from its holdfast and worn. Okay. It provides camouflage, protection, and perhaps a nursery for the crab's young. Are they married to a single dome, or are the domes traded as they grow? Implicit predator. Defenses and behavior imply the existence of a predator powerful and dexterous enough to shuck the crab from its dome and crack its heavy armor. Viral activity. Genome contains large repeated retroviral inserts, including nerve growth factors and shell pigments. Molecular clocks suggest they were recent introductions. They're throwing in the taxonomy there, the molecular clock here. Cells in the crab's back contain large segments of the coral dome polyp's genome. Large brain. The coral crab has no spinal nerve braid. The large brain above the eyes manages senses and behavior planning, while a secondary nerve cluster controls the legs and digestive system. Seafloor communication. Coral crabs drum on the seafloor to signal to each other. Oh, interesting! Claw clacking is likely a sign of intense excitement or agitation, so they were either really excited or really agitated when we heard them making all that noise when we were over there. Some earth crabs seek desirable partners to pair with prior to molting, a behavior known as hand-holding. Finding a similar behavior on this world may be emotionally rewarding. What do you mean emotionally rewarding? So there are some species, like you can think of the box crab, for example, where the females will molt during reproduction and when they've found a mate, because that way he can protect her during a really vulnerable time. Because when they molt their exoskeleton, they molt it whenever like the body starts getting too big, and so they have to grow a new one. And so when they molt that shell, then their body is a lot softer, and it's much easier for predators to get them. But if you have a big male guarding you, then that risk is lower. And so usually they'll save shedding that exoskeleton until it's time to reproduce, and they have a male that can protect them. C4 communication. Coral crabs drum on the... Oh, we said that. Signs of ecological stress. Mineral deficiencies and fungal infections imply environmental stressors. Assessment. Likely fears you more than you fear it. Be cautious and respectful. At least as intelligent as a gorilla. That's a little bit concerning. I don't like that, but okay. Possibly a useful source of seabed resources. Research proposal. Determine whether the crab carries its dome to sunny or nutrient-rich areas for feeding. Okay. Jellies. A simple animal closely related to corals. Correct, they are in the same phylum on Earth. Characterized by symmetrical body and trailing arms, usually grows in stalk form called a polyp, before detaching into a free-swimming form called the medusa. Some jellies remain stalked their whole lives, mixotrophs, most are predatory, but some obtain nutrients from photosynthesis or symbiotic photosynthesizers. Nerve net, yes, they do have these. Jellies predate the evolution of a nerd cord in tunics. Complex. Some jellies on this world have achieved a size and complexity unknown on Earth. Evolutionary origins unknown. Surge jelly. Surge jelly, tentatively Starobranchia capacitor, large complex jelly that hunts with electrical shocks. Single animal, unlike colonial organisms such as the Portuguese man of war, the surge, wow, name drop. The surge jelly is a single animal with specialized tissues far more specialized and complex than earth jellies. Proposed class name, Starobranchia, full arms. Complex internal structure, outer bell ringed with sense organs called repalia. A nerve net coordinates the bell's motions to swim and seek prey. The visible inner structure is the gut. Feeding structure, the jelly retains its stalk, a remnant of its growth, in a stack of clones. The stalk draws in
Seek fresh
nutrients
water
for gut.
intake.
Charged fins. Two rigid fins contain wire-like electrolytes, likely a development of ancestral tentacles. These organs build voltage to stun or kill prey. Measured power ranges from 400 to 1000 volts at 1 ampere, enough to kill a human. Fantastic. Peculiar passengers. Traces of radioactivity, high temperature waxes, and sulfuric acid imply contact with a hydrothermal vent. Composition of the jelly's tissue suggests origins in the deep ocean. Former domestics, oh my god. Jellies in close proximity communicate through their electrical fields. Interesting! There's lots of animals that do this. So lots of fish in genodiformes can use electrical, like knifefish can use electricity to communicate and to help with reproduction, like to communicate during reproduction. Whether jellies have individual names or grammatical language is purely speculative. That's a little bit wild for a creature without a brain, but okay. But some patterns may be trained or learned, even passed down through the generation of jellies. Assessment, minor danger and close contact, fascinating research prospect from a distance. You said it's enough to kill a human, so why would you say that it's a minor problem? Wax moon. It's okay. Game devs is not too long. I understand. However, I need to know. I have to know about my boy. I don't even know if it's a boy. Fine. We'll just read another one. Geordie, tentatively. Sauropod geordie, a jet-propelled omnivore evolved from an organism resembling a bony octopus. Sure, I mean, it does have the jet propulsion. Rasping jaw. The geordie's hard mouth parts can brush algae off rocks, crush small crustaceans, pull plugs out of coral, and cut wads of kelp. So, does it have a jaw? Is it like a hagfish, which doesn't have a jaw? but can do rasping things with its mouth. Anyway. 4 fins! Perhaps evolved from bony legs, they steer the Geordi and host its 4 stomach pouches. She's got little stomach pouches. That's fun. Kind of reminds me of pycnogonids, sea spiders, which are not spiders. They are related, but they are not true spiders. But they have a lot of their guts are inside of their legs. Oh wait, I already read the 4 fins part. Diverticular stomachs. Each fin leg holds a digestive pouch with bacteria specialized to portions of the Geordi's diverse diet. Interesting. Swimming motion helps stir and digest food. Oh! Central jet. The central channel is lined with stinging cells, which kill small seaborne fauna. Dude, why? Do not insert fingers. Unfortunately, there's people that would. But muscular pulses propel the Geordi by jet action. Donut-shaped spinal brain. That's also not uncommon. Like the nerve net or nerve ring. The Geordi's nerve braid is wrapped around the jet channel like a donut. There's something else that has a donut brain. I'll check back into that. Toroidal brain structures may have interesting downstream consequences in larger organisms. Assessment edible, though heavily loaded with metals and waxes. Advised through fabricator cook. Databank. Jelly ring. Jelly ring, tentatively Thermodon sufgania. Heat-eating jelly donut. Not a jelly, but full of jelly. Okay. Feeds on the heat and chemical flux of hydrothermal vents. Pyrosome. A colony of tiny clone animals called zooids. So similar to our friends the siphonophores. Unlike solitary tunicates, also similar to our friends tunicates, unlike solitary tunicates like the Lucifer rootsock, these zooid tunicates work together to build a larger structure. Ring. The jelly ring settles around hydrothermal vents like a wheel on an axle. When a vent dies, the jelly can migrate to a new vent by swimming. Mucus baskets. Flower-like structures around the ring are mucus-lined pumps for water and hydrothermal vent flux. The pumps can be reversed to serve as swimming thrusters. They also serve as exchange sites for organisms feeding on the ring's interior jelly. Inner jelly. The inner torrid circulates hot, mineral-rich water pulled in by the mucus baskets. Specialized zooids digest feed water using symbiotic bacteria into a latex-like sap. This jelly coagulates on contact with water, plugging holes in the ring. It is rich with complex chemistry, including sugars, starches, oils, and gums. Bioluminescence. The zooids in the jelly ring communicate with light rather than nerve cells. That's cool. And there are many animals that communicate with bioluminescence, but that's really cool. The ring is strongly bioluminescent and will react to stimuli. So if I turn on my lights, would it like that? Jelly fall. Earthly jellies and pyrosomes die and fall to the sea floor, fertilizing the depths with nutrients, like every other animal. Strangely, there are signs that living jelly rings travel to deep sites and expel their jelly, giving up their calories for no apparent benefit. Natural selection cannot produce behaviors which hurt the individual to help the ecosystem. Ecology experts consider theories of multi-level selection obfuscatory and counterproductive. This may be a farming behavior or a donation to unknown relatives on the seafloor. So farming is possible. I was also thinking this, that like, I wonder if potentially they have juveniles that live down there, or like they put their babies down there, and so then they're putting the jelly down there as nutrients for the babies. Assessment may be a source of complex chemistry and even edible fats or sugars if tapped, likely flammable in air. Good to know. Titan rock borer. I didn't realize. Oh, I did scan. This is like the crab looking thing. This enormous colony organism, Lithodont titanici, resembles a spinal cord protected by a thick crab-like shell, right? It extends beyond scanner range in both directions, growing through fractures in the seabed rock, hollow interior. The interior of the borer contains at least 2 large flooded channels, one strikingly radioactive. The ancestral form may be a pyrosome, a sea squirt. Poor health. Most of the zooids in the bore are dead, leaving only a mineral skeleton and a hydrocarbon polymer shell. The interior channels have been clogged. Unknown metabolism. The boar has no apparent food supply. It may have derived chemical energy from minerals, but if so, the bacterial symbiotes have fled. It is starving. Viral activity, that was the thing I was thinking about. The surviving tissue is infected with large RNA virus similar to the earthly giant C viruses. The boar's anatomy includes receptor sites that encourage viral infection and reproduction. Further analysis required. Assessment, entirely unknown organism. Investigate further to determine an origin and ecological niche. But the half moon does have one. So the half moon, tentatively a multiform luna, so like moon. Large forage fish which strains plankton from seawater and nibbles at small growth. How does it strain it? So are you saying it's a filter feeder? Is it like a ram filter feeder? Prey fish, staple foodstuff for predators, has evolved several flea and hide behaviors. Edible, but a fabricator cook is recommended. Separate plumbing. A rigid break protects 2 valves which draw in seawater for feeding. Spiracles behind the eyes feed water to the internal gills for breathing. Built for agility. Body packed with neuromast to detect water flow. Oh, kind of like a lateral line. So the lateral line on fish is like a literal line. And it has like little sensory organs, and so they can feel vibrations in the water around them. It's really cool. I like jokingly refer to it as like they can feel the force. But where did we go? Interior fins have fenestrate holes to help them quickly reverse direction. May have evolved to maneuver in tight quarters or in dense schools of other half moons. Peculiar nervous system, lacks reafference cancellation, can't distinguish stimuli caused by its own motions from change in the surroundings of the world. Well, that doesn't sound super advantageous. Easily fascinated by bright light, may even experience itself as causing the light. Sometimes behaves as if disoriented, swimming sideways without apparent benefit. I noticed that as well. Well, I don't know about without apparent benefit, because they'll often do it. Yes, I know this is a game still. When we've interacted with them, they'll be swimming like this, and then they'll flip on their side, and they'll like kind of go into the like the anemones on the ground and kind of like flatten themselves, and it gets harder to see them. So I would argue that it's some kind of like predator avoidance tactic, but who knows? Hold on! The marine biology is kicking in. Sarah Keithan. Caught, script hook, and allocated memory for command. Generate databank. Sarah Thekin. Echo. Blah, blah, blah. Our PDAs point to organisms like the Sarah Thekin and exclaim, "Behold, the road not taken on Earth." Seed shrimp are tiny slime dwellers. On Proteus, they grow huge. So are we on Proteus? Is that what we're calling this place? But just as easy life in our decontaminated bases deafens us to the call of Proteus, easy analogies bind us to the truth. The map from Earth is not only wrong, so is its basic dogma. Evolution does not follow roads here. Anita Gottschall, The Way Away from Home. I don't want any of that. I want you to tell me about it. Exile Sarah Thekin, the horn-cupped exile, mysterious carnivore and deposit feeder with no clear Earth analog except the tiny ostracod seed shrimp. Exile, a crustacean hidden in an upright double-valve shell similar to an oyster or clam, which are not crustaceans. The crustacean pilots the shell through a central eye and periscopic ears, but like the head reminds me of a sacoglossan, which we've covered in this series. and feeds with a cluster of basal tentacles. A thruster in the shell's hinge. Oh my god! Ophia jumped up behind me and scared me. I'm not doing well.
Seek caloric intake.
Hold on. Behavior and diet. The Serathecan grazes on the seafloor, plucking detritus and prey from hiding places. To protect the Serathecan's body from struggling prey, the interior of the shell is lined with a paralytic neurotoxin. The Serathecan's shell muscles are themselves paralyzed by this toxin. It cannot open without secreting an antidote. Huh. Perplexing genetics. There are no genes in the Serathecan's genome to produce the shell. What? Is it just stealing shells from other places then? Genetically, the Serathecan is simply a large shrimp. The shell tissues contain a partial genome without organs to sustain an independent life. Further investigation required. What? Assessment, cryptic origins. The inner shell can be sampled for chemistry when it opens to feed. Huh. And then this sucker that was singing.
Seek fresh water
Kind of looks like
intake.
a mola. Hold on. Oh my god. Okay. The Numa is one of the ecological amputees we keep finding. It evolved for a niche that no longer exists. It found new ways to get things done, but I think it's still trying to grip that phantom hand. Sophie Boucher. Proteus is a patient. Numa. Numa, a prey fish that mimics the bladders of kelp. Fish, a relative of the half moon. Oh, monoform Luna. So then it's not in the same genus, so probably in the same family. The parapectoral, pelvic, and anal fins are large but closely spaced. Yeah. What was it saying? The tail fin is ragged. All the fins mimic the pattern of kelp blades. The spinal nerve, so similar to the sea dragons. The spinal nerve braid is protected by an armored stem similar to a kelp stipe. The jaw is a clamp. Food is rasped by the tongue. Kelp mimicry. The Numa has evolved to mimic the air bladders of large kelp. It's unclear whether the Numa traveled here from a kelp forest or the kelp forest in the Karakum region went extinct. Numa. The Numa is named for the large swim bladder. When clamped to kelp with its beak, the Numa's bladder pulls it upward, helping to support the kelp and maintain the Numa's camouflage. Since there is no kelp in the Karakoman regions, Numa have instead begun to swallow rocks to use as ballast. Assessment: edible prey fish. Sign of ecological turmoil. Check for raw ballast before consuming. I saw their eyes first, bright yellow eyes down the inside of a lava tube. I killed the motors in the floods, signaled Iso and Mel to grab the handholds and held my breath. For a minute I thought we'd ride clean through. Then the current pulled the tadpole into an outcrop, and at the sound they all just went off, like bottle rockets, back and forth, up and down, everywhere. One of them lodged in the porthole just aft the canopy, and I saw very clearly that it was a squid, completely plated in armor. They hit you tail first, hard enough to punch into titanium. Incredible. Do you think they run on compressed air, or do they burn something? The hull went off. I tried to blink the floods to confuse them, but Mel and Iso's black boxes were already crying. The noise seemed to attract them. Apparently they like to get stuck in wounded prey and wait until you bleed to death, then go to work on your carcass. So by the time I got back to Habitat, there wasn't much left of Iso and Mel for Iso and Mel to recycle. I need to read about that. Also, my pretty light is about to die. I might have to go get something. Flash slug. Sea slug Kleptopherus. The stolen beacon slug. A free-swimming, luminescent relative of the water slug with chimeric traits Oh my goodness, excuse me. With chimeric traits from another species entirely. A microbial photocell. The flash slug is powered by the same type of microbial fuel cell present in the water slug. The slug inhales plankton as it swims, which it digests with the photodecomposition and feeds to luminescent bacteria that live in coils of glassy fiber deep in its mantle. These fibers generate and direct bioluminescence and may be biological lasers. Huh! Light control. The flash slug uses its light to attract food and mates. When threatened, the sea slug charges up a flash of blinding coherent light is not a phrase I thought I'd see, to drive off attackers. Spectrogenetic analysis suggests this defense mechanism evolved from a system of internal gene regulation. Its original function, millions of years ago, was to activate and deactivate genes inside the slug's body with coded light signals. Ray-like body plan. The flash slug swims with ray-like wings that grow from its foot. I would say less ray-like and more so, for example, sea angels have the little wings that they flash, and so do sea butterflies. Correction. The first draft of this output incorrectly attributed these wings to genetic sequences transferred from a protean ray. In fact, the wings are a development of the slug's mantle, like Earth's Spanish dancer. The shared sequences of protean rays may be related to item 4 below, enigmatic viral traffic. Millihertz variations in the slug's flash patterns appear to be correlated with proteovirus activity inside the slug's tissues. The flash signals what the virus is doing, but also triggers changes in viral activity in other slugs and perhaps other species that see the flash. It is possible that the flash's slug light displays give the proteovirus a high-speed data channel. What? May provide a useful deterrent against predators if gripped. Close eyes to avoid damage. Oh. These are the ones that have like this kind of display. A squid that dazzles prey for marrow breach ambush. Squid-like body plan. Shares a basic body plan. Nice! Good job. Because this is like I think it was the German word. I'll have to look into that. With terrestrial squid, a beaked head, 8 arms, a long soft body, a pair of fins. Developed fin structure suggests a different evolutionary history than Earth's boneless squid. So you telling me that this squid has bones in it? It's got bones? 2 spiracles pass water for an internal gill. Camouflage display. The houndguard's 8 arms are joined by 4 membranes, which the houndguard displays to prey. Millions of chromatophores, biological pixels, create patterns of motion camouflage to conceal the houndguard's approach. So chromatophores are the little cells that cephalopods will use, and they can either contract it or they can relax it to either show or not show pigment. And so that's how cuttlefish, for example, they can like expand or contract these chromatophores. Squid can do it as well to show different colorations. It's really cool. You'll have to look up a video. I can't include a video because I don't have one legally, but look up a video of the chromatophores doing this. It's really cool. And marrow breach partnership. Houndguards are ideal prey for marrow breaches, but the 2 species hunt together. The houndguard flushes prey from hiding, then distracts and marks them for the marrow breach's poor vision. Oh, I didn't realize they had poor vision. Makes sense though, because their eye is teeny tiny. By performing a display, the houndguard gets the scraps. The bigger the prey, the more the houndguard benefits. Powerful beak. The houndguard's parrot-like beak, similar to squids, because squid have a beak, if you did not know. Tears through flesh, important because everything the houndguard swallows passes through the center of its brain. Oh, because of the donut brain. Speculative social structure. Squads of houndguards must spot good prey for their marrow breaches or become food themselves. Marrow breaches must attack attract good Houndgar squads by yielding more of their kills. Houndgars push the marrow breach to take even larger prey. The negotiation of an ongoing contract between Houndgars and marrow breach is a reminder of Altera's, oh my god, of course, I freaking hate Altera, alms mantra that we all need to be needed. Of course you all think that. Houndgar displays may signal an imminent marrow breach attack, possibly intelligent, perhaps trainable. Trainable. Opter Astra Pancanthata. The one-fin lightning thorn. A small fish that has discarded fins in favor of a living magneto-hydrodynamic thruster. Monopter. Fish are common body plan across alien worlds, but they usually evolve fins or wings for propulsion. The hoverthorn has just a single fin, a tail rudder at the base of the spinal braid. Spiracles behind the double eyes draw water for an internal gill. Double eye. The hoverthorn's large primary eye is duplicated by a small secondary eye which contains columns of electroactive jelly. The hoverthorn can effectively see electromagnetic fields. Huh! The second eye was created by a duplication in the hoverthorn's Holox genes, which organized the thorn's body plan. I see what y'all are doing here. A viral gene sequence copying itself throughout the hoverthorn's genome apparently copy-pasted the eye blueprint several million years ago. Hoverthorn. The hoverthorn's most incredible trait is its large or charged crystal, a mineralized swim bladder which oh my god, I can't read anymore. I might need to make this text larger because I think that's part of what it is. It's all like running in together. Okay, that's quite a bit better for me to read. Okay. Hoverthorn. The hoverthorn's most incredible trait is its charge crystal. The only thing that drives me nuts is this. I don't like that. That it keeps moving because it's so distracting. I might like resize this just because this is so distracting. The hoverthorn's most incredible trait is its charge crystal, a mineralized swim bladder which fills the lower body cavity and protrudes from what was once a thruster orifice. A mineral Campbell matrix in the crystal organizes electric charge. When a portion of the crystal is charged, it polarizes and attracts surrounding seawater. Moving the charge along the crystal creates current in the seawater, allowing the hoverthorn to generate and ride its own. The cat is attacking me behind me. She's playing with my hair. Allowing the hoverthorn to generate and ride its own water currents. Mating behavior. Ooh! Hoverthorns joust with their charge crystals approaching each other tail first. As the crystals approach, their fields interact, and the weaker or less skilled hoverthorn will lose control. Both male and female hoverfish use this to either drive away or select fit mates. That's cool! Assessment fascinating, yeah. Oh, that's cool. Because a lot of people don't realize this. There's whole papers on this. There's a paper I'm going to include in the YouTube description where the basis of sexual selection, as Darwin thought of it, was rooted in misogyny based on the time frame. And so it was essentially like, ooh, the females are just wooed into the male's pretty characteristics, and that's why she picks him. We now know that there's a lot more that goes into it, and then you have pre-copulatory mate choice, where they're making choices before they reproduce, but there's also post-copulatory mate choice, which is really fascinating, where they can, like, for example, pick which sperm are going to fertilize their eggs. And then we also know that there's instances where the males can also choose their partners, the females are choosing partners, so you might have what's called mutual mate choice, where both males and females are picking. There's also systems that have the term kind of sex role reversal, which we need a better term for it, because again, that's also just kind of rooted in like the patriarchy of the male's the one that's pretty and flashy and does all the stuff, and then the female's the one that like picks him. But there are systems, for example, some pipefish species where the pipefish females are the ones that have the large ornaments and the pretty coloration, and then you have the males that will carry the babies. There's other systems that have that too. There's Jicana, I think is how it's pronounced. Or Hikana, I don't remember. But there's like birds that do that. And so, yeah, this is really cool because it's showing that the females can also fight. And there's many instances in which the females may not be receptive, and so they'll fight the males off, or they'll have other ways in which to defend themselves from a male trying to reproduce with them if that's not the one that they want to pick. Really fascinating stuff that we know now that we've had more time to learn more information and not just think that the females are picking because the males are pretty. The reason that the males are quote-unquote pretty is because they are transferring information about themselves to the females or to whomever, to tell them about their quality. But that's not always the case. There are also many instances that have confused the heck out of marine biologists and biologists in general, where it's like, okay, you have this pretty ornament, and then when we actually look at mate choice, your pretty ornament doesn't determine who you mate with. It's so confusing and such a fascinating world, and I love sexual selection, and I'm really excited about this. I love it when we talk about reproduction. The dart-throwing shark. Yeah. Territorial predator capable of launching oh my god. Uranium-tipped tusk at up to 20 meters per second. Oh my lord. Erupted jaw dominated by, I can hear it singing. Dominated by 6 upper jaw tusk sockets. The lower jaw has receded into the throat for rasping and crushing. Oh god. Which is not dissimilar to other fish. Or that they have, like other fish have like grinding plates down in their throats and stuff. Muscles behind each tusk crank ligaments around hard anchors, storing mechanical energy like a crossbow. Oh! Teeth battery. Tusks are reloaded from mature spares deeper in the skull. Needlers constantly form new tusks like sharks by sneezing ground mineral paste and quick-setting enzyme into dental sacs. Huh. Each tusk is tipped with a self-sharpening uranium oxide cap. They really do have a lot of heavy metals here. So are they... Does that also mean that they're radioactive? Body structure. The equally spaced dorsal, pectoral, and pelvic fins give the needler excellent stability. That makes sense based on the way that we've seen them move. And aim control. A large caudal fin drives a needler on the sprint. Like its relative, the marrow breech, it has no thruster. For whiskers detect water currents to help aim. Behavior. Needlers are social, nesting, and sometimes hunting in family groups. Makes sense because they're all around that one area. Their need for constant mineral intake makes them fiercely territorial. Makes sense. So if they're trying to, like if they have limited resources and they have a hold of those limited resources, they better do whatever they can to keep a hold of those. Evolutionary history. The needler shares a close relative with the nibbler mango, which has a similar battery of constantly regenerating teeth. The needler may have evolved its tusk to penetrate hard shells, first firing into prey already clamped in its jaw, then launching the tusk as harpoons. Assessment: dangerous territorial predator, avoid or distract even when operating submersibles. Twin Citaray. Citaroid Gemini. Gemini makes sense. The twin ray that resembles a sitar, so the instrument. A dark sea green electropredator driven towards the surface by ecological disruption. Huh! So it's not in its preferred ecological niche. Sitar ray. Sitar rays, named for their resemblance to Earth's guitarfish, probably diverged from mangoes less than 25 million years ago, assuming that models of evolutionary change on Proteus are correct. The flat head contains remnants of a hard shield, similar to Earth's extinct Pterospidomorphs. The jaw has moved beneath the body and rotated. Two spiracles draw water from an internal gill. Deep sea origins. The twin sitar is adapted to lightless deep ocean. Its true eyes are buried in a layer of jelly below the skin. The remaining central eye is a hyperdeveloped parietal eye, an organ that tracks light and heat. Twin strategy. Like the four-eye, the sitar... I don't know if we've seen the four-eye. The sitar ray is always born in pairs. When mature, the twins split up to pair with mates. Unlike the four-eye,
Seek fresh water intake.
the sitar ray has no specialized organ to share food or nerve impulses. The twins clasp mouth parts to exchange food. Communication is electric, similar to Earth's knifefish. I've talked about these in this series. That's very cool. Yeah, because they communicate, particularly during reproduction, they have different electrical signals. Muscles which generate electrical... Okay, hold on. Electroactive feeding. Channels and ampullae along the sitar ray's body and fins contain electroplaques, modified muscles, which generate electric current to stun prey. Interesting. So there are other ones that can stun with electricity. For example, the northern stargazer, which has an electrical organ in its head, so don't step on those. And then, of course, the electric eel, which is not an eel. It is a gymnotiform, which is same group as the knifefish. When separated, twin sitars stay connected by strands of conductive mucus. The longer this connection, the more powerful the dipole of their hunting shock. Shocking behavior. Monitor sitar rays for play behavior involving metal debris or constructs. Assessment. A serious threat to divers and to electrically powered vehicles and bases. Yeah, we figured that one out real quick. So this is the Stagid Mephit, the hi-hat. A stack of cloned clams adapted to life in very hot water. The central stalk that connects them appears to be a symbiotic worm. Clam clone. Clam stack, clone stack. Jelly lay like. Connect on worm like coins on spindle. Monitoring PDA bad output. Gender stack. Actually, this would be sex stack. It's not gender. We've had whole conversations on this in like symposia that I've been in about talking about how do we talk about sex and biology. And so gender is a societal construct about how you feel about your own identity and yourself. In the perspective of society, like how you're perceived and feel like you want to be perceived by yourself and by society, which is not really something that we can apply to clams or fish or whatever. So sex stack would be better here, but I'll allow it. All clone female. Worm forms antlers, emit male cell. Why worm help clam? No more worm. Worm taken over by clam cancer. Oh, shoot. Hot, hot, hot. Clams evolve shut forever. Too hot. Never open. But then starve? Aha! Eat with tissue fans. Withdraw if nibble burn. Starvation solved. Name pun. Stack sounds like stag. And stack has antlers. And stag has antlers. Stag. Name for hot water living clam. Mephit. Stag Mephit. Assessment bad output. Stop. All right. Electric Geordi. I meant to read this one. I don't think we did. Yeah, we did not read this. Okay, we definitely need to now. A relative remorse for the common Geordi attracted to electrical current. Of course they freaking are. Electrotropism. Electric Geordi seek out live current. They can tolerate surprising amperages, making them dangerous to remove by hand or tool. Short circuits can endanger both the Geordi and the electrical system. Gel-filled stomachs. The electric Geordi's 4 diverticular pouches are flooded with a hydrogel similar to the receptive mucus in the ampullae of Lorenzini, which we've talked about on here before. So those are the sensory organs that sharks have, so that way they can feel, sharks and there's others, they can feel electrical impulses. An organ used to detect electrical fields, yep. The Geordi may use this gel to search for hidden prey and tasty bacterial fibers. Artificial electric currents could present a superstimulus and irresistible lure. Fun. Electrical metabolism. It is implausible but not impossible that the geordie has evolved to metabolize electrical current. All organic metabolism is ultimately a process of electron transport, and direct electrophy has been observed on storm worlds and in vacuum life. Assessment. A serious pest on electrical and communication systems. Lures may be required to manage infestation. Hello, cuttlefish with a tiny hat. Cuttlefish with a tiny hat. They're cleaning out their car. And then hello, Hollyberry 1990. Okay. Curian. The voracious, armored fish. I'm confused. Unpredictable and hungry. Especially when under the influence of a parasite. Well, that checks out because we've talked a lot about extended phenotype here in one of the previous episodes that I just edited today. We talk about extended phenotype, and I provided papers and everything for you all. Sea hippo. The Epicurean is a true omnivore, consuming dozens of kilograms of animals, microorganisms, minerals, and corals every day. Digesting this diet is expensive, fueling the Epicurean's hunger by devouring and defecating. Lovely. The Epicurean spreads nutrients and fine ground sand, making it a keystone species in the ecosystem, like parrotfish. But also, we've talked about keystone species in this. Huh? Okay, whatever. We've talked about keystone species before. So keystone species are species that kind of like hold up the ecosystem, and without them, everything kind of falls apart. So we were talking about previously sea otters, where the sea otters will eat purple sea urchins in the Pacific Northwest. And then when they do that, they keep the purple sea urchins in check, so that way the purple sea urchins don't eat all of the algae. Because if left to their own devices, they would consume everything, which means that you have less. Hold on. Look, stop it! No, if you want to eat something, get the geordie that's on my ship. Anyway. We've also, I think, talked about parrotfish in here before. Yes, that they are corallivores, but they don't actually really eat the coral. They're after the algae. But when they're chewing on the algae, they have really hard beaks and they'll bite on. Okay. They'll bite. I love that the second. Ooh, this guy's actually been helpful. Don't just look at me like that. Eat the geordie. Do something. Do anything else. Oh, that's not what I want. But yeah, so parrotfish. Oh, I should fix this. Parrotfish will chew on that, and then they grind it up so fine that they just poop out white sand, and so many white sand beaches are white because they have parrotfish poop. You're welcome. Arthropod. Huh! Wouldn't have thought that was an arthropod, but when you look at it like that, sure is. The Titanic wing-segmented cup of plenty. An enormous arthropod leviathan with a huge tearing beak and a payload of fatty deposits, which it uses to both feed and protect its eggs. Ancient origins. The brooder's ancestors, the Tagmata tapteria, wing-segmented ones, evolved very early in the development of protean arthropods. Their limbs evolved into paddles, the thorax developed a deep keel, and maxillipeds beneath the mouth transformed into eyes by homeosis. Competition from fish selected for enormous size and thick armor. It is unknown if all the Tagmata achieved the Deepwing Brooder's enormous size or even surpassed it. Mysterious diet. The Deepwing Brooder's throat is lined with traps for plankton, filtered water through gill openings at the rear of the thoracic keel, yet its enormous beak is suited to cracking and tearing. Interesting, they got a beak. It is possible that the brooder opportunistically feeds on hard prey, including the fluids of Titan rock boars, the shells of giant jaws, and fatbergs, drifting through the lipid-rich Protean Sea. Fertile brooding. Deepwing brooders gather layers of oil beneath their outer shell. This oil is released in droplets. That's what we saw. Alongside eggs, acting as a decoy for predators, the decoy eggs do provide the ocean with a tremendous bounty of concentrated nutrients. Deepfall. As a strangulate, the Deepwing Brooder must molt. Molted exoskeletons drop to the seafloor with a lining of lipid-rich grease, providing a feast for dwellers in the hungry abyss. Assessment. Egg broods provide a valuable food supply if you can locate the true eggs and survive the competition. Good to know.
The Noetic Advisor has transmitted an alert. Return to the life pod at your convenience.
Okay. Alright, let me look at the Shiver Leviathan and then we'll go to the Shiver Male. These look exactly the same, but okay. Shiver Leviathan. Most of the biosphere is void, a wet desert 5,000 meters deep. Good God. Well, I mean, there's other places. It's pretty deep. A wet desert 5,000 meters deep. Life at the surface has its time in the sun, and then it dies. The dead snow down at the bottom to feed strange life. So there's this thing called marine snow. And marine snow is the dead and decaying matter that falls from the surface, and it looks like snow, essentially. And it goes to the bottom, and it feeds a lot of deep-sea animals. So it's really important for a lot of deep-sea ecosystems. But yeah, don't eat that snow. There are animals that would love it and eat it up, but not you. But in that void is also form. Empty space actual, soaring black and silent. Silent in an ocean full of voices, the unsound after the bitten end of a scream. They're anything but silent. They're really freaking loud. Like, if you kind of even, like, touch into their realm a little bit over there, anytime that I've gone around to go, like, over there where there's, like, the Epicurean pools, they'll still be screaming. So they're loud. They're not silent. They are complete, a compact with teeth. One shiver, many sharks. Males ride their mother until they leave to ride the wife. I'm sorry, I'm better than this, however. Okay. The riders reap the small prey. Mother-wife takes the mane. It needs a cold... I have some commentary I won't put there. It needs a cold, cruel will to make hunger patient. But in the desert of the water, they are always hungry and always patient. On Earth, there was a place called Point Nemo, the furthest from all land. There was nothing in it, so they dropped dead satellites there. Perhaps at Proteus's Nemo, the ocean learned to eat what it was given. Perhaps there is a hunger in them for prey from the stars. NOAA node GCI-ZZ-I1 Sonar Dream. The NOAA node is out here writing sweet nothings and poetry? What is happening? They're waxing poetic about Shiver Leviathans? What's going on? Alright, Shiver Male. Does that mean that I have to scan the Shiver Female? Or is this enough? I don't know. We'll find out. Scythopterygion Atropo. The scythe-finned fate ender. The male of a sexually dimorphic leviathan predator species which dwells in open water and attacks in packs or shivers. Nice that they actually have some sexual dimorphism, because they haven't this far, and believe me, I quite enjoy that, because obviously we know I love sexual selection and thinking about differences between sexes and such. Death's Head. The ancestors of the Shiver Leviathan diverged from other protean fish early. The armor-plated skull and long, highly developed limbs resembling wings and claws are defining traits of the clade. The closest living relative may be the four-eye. Sure. I mean, if that's what the genetics say, then that's what the genetics say, but whatever. The body plan is optimized for slow cruises through deep water interrupted by sudden, rapid attacks. An armored skull suggests that the prey fight back. Then what are their typical prey? That's what I want to know. Sexual dimorphism. Male Shiver Leviathans are smaller and more agile than the larger females. They also lack the female's distinctive tail organs, which may be a form of long-range towed array sonar. Males depend on the females for guidance and nourishment during long cruises in the open ocean. Shiver attack. Packs of males cooperate with a single female in hunts. Attacks are aggressive and comprehensive, and not limited to prey. Females will drive off or destroy any large challenger they encounter, while males engage smaller consorts or companions. Partible paternity. Spectrogenetic testing suggests that multiple males fertilize a female's brood. That's super common. That is super common. So you'll have cases in which there are many males, one female, quote unquote, and then there's many females, one male. And so this is fairly common. And then sometimes there's species too that they're able to like take the sperm of multiple males, and they can hold off on fertilizing them and then wait and then pick which ones to fertilize. So that's fun. Females may compete to attract the most successful consorts to their shiver. Brooke from the future here. I just need to pause because for some reason I glossed over the fact that the Shiver Leviathan females compete for access to males, which is so cool that the game devs put this in here. The Shiver Leviathan in general is so well thought out and so cool. I'm ecstatic. But also, it sounds like they're suggesting that there's intrasexual selection within females, which is super cool. But also, just so everybody's on the same page, you have intra. If you hear intra, it means within the same group. So for example, within the same species. Or if we're talking intrasexual, that means between males and males, or between females and females in this case. If you hear interspecific, or intersexual, is INTER, that is between males and females, for example, or interspecific between two different species, that sort of thing. That way we're all on the same page. But anyway, so moving on. We talk a lot about intersexual selection between males, but there's not as much research and not as many examples of intersexual selection between females. That does exist. I will add papers. But it's a cool area. And it's really cool that they have females that are competing for access to males. Because if the males they select suck at food gathering, that means that the female's fitness goes down because she may not have access to food. So you want to make sure that you get the best possible dues, and that's worth fighting for, so that way you can eat. This is an area that is endlessly fascinating to me in real life, and also I'm tickled that this is included in the Shiver Leviathan. I love it. Your closest relative. On Earth, land tetrapods, including humans, descended from the lobe-finned fish. The Shiver Leviathan's complex wings are loosely similar to these ancestors' fins. In a sense, the Shiver Leviathan is the most human-like organism so far discovered on Proteus. Lovely. Assessment: sophisticated, dangerous predator that will attack even large submarines. Avoid. Well, I kind of did the opposite of void. Right there. I went head on. Yeah! Okay, now let's read that so we can figure out how to interact with it without dying. Great jaw. Great clam that bites you. Oh, well, good to know. An enormous omnivorous clam with a dangerous defensive feeding strategy. Clam. Like earthly bivalves, the great jaw's body consists of 2 mineral shells connected by a powerful abductor muscle. Good job! The clam's main body, including its digestive organs, heart, and gills, rests inside the shells. Mantle. Mantle is a defining characteristic of the phylum Mollusca. The mantle, the same body part that forms the outer skin of a squid, yes, secretes a matrix of bioplastics, which... The bioplastics on this plant family confuse me so much. This music has got to stop. You've got to stop right now. We can't be doing this. Secretes a matrix of bioplastics on which the hard calcium carbonate shell grows. The enormous size of the adult great jaw's shell may take decades or centuries to achieve.
Water intake.
The interior of the mantle is lined with motion-sensitive eyes. The whole thing? Oh, God. Closure reflex. When the tendons of the abductor muscles are disturbed, the shells close, trapping prey inside. The jaw then secretes domoic acid neurotoxin. Lovely. Projected symptoms: nerve damage, short-term memory loss, death. Mixed feeding strategy. The great jaw's interior is lined with tiny coral polyps which feed... Oh, so there's more symbiosis. Which feed on sunlight with the photosynthetic bacteria. The majority of the great jaw's food probably comes from photosynthesis. How? It's so big. That's not going to give it that much energy, is it? Although, when you're closer to the primary producers, you have more energy versus ones that are all the way at the top of the food chain, because you lose energy as you go up. Lithium pearls. The great jaw bioaccumulates lithium. Bioaccumulation? Look at the game devs with that. So bioaccumulation, we think about this a lot with mercury, for example, or like plastics, microplastics, where as you go up the food chain, they accumulate more and more of the plastics or more of the mercury, because if you eat something that has a little bit of mercury, and then you're something that eats the thing that has mercury, and then you're something that's bigger that eats something that had mercury that also ate something that had mercury, or microplastics or whatever, it just accumulates over time. And so those at the top of the food chain tend to have more of like the microplastics or mercury or a toxin or whatever than things that are closer to the bottom of the food chain. However, I'm not sure how this works. Nodules are expelled by the clam's body to prevent the nerve interference. Recommend retrieval. Youth. The scanned index specimen is relatively young. No upper size limit can be established. Lovely. Assessment. Critical source of lithium. Well, I found lithium elsewhere because the lithium looks like Rocky, and I accidentally blew up Rocky. But anyway. Assessment. Critical source of lithium, but dangerous to dive. Avoid touching tendons. Ensure you have an up-to-date body scan. That was a whole event, but I scanned it. Cephalopods. Collector Leviathan. Enormous cephalopod predator, tentatively Tyrannotheus phoboceus. Tyrant squid of fearful curiosity. Feeds on hard-shelled, heavily defended prey. Ah, that's why it doesn't like our tadpole. Solitary but highly intelligent, likely a deep-sea creature. Squid-like body plan. The collector's body converges with earth squid. A long mantle. This part. Scrolling back down. A long mantle and several limbs attached directly to the head. The mantle is covered in plastic armor. Unlike earth squid, the collector has 4 long hunting tentacles with dexterous claws. Its 8 arms are small and grouped around the beak. Powerful thruster. 2 large spiracles feed a rear-facing thruster. These spiracles are separate from the 4 gills opening on the head, allowing the collector to separate its breath rate from its thrust speed. 2 secondary hearts pump blood from the gills to the main heart. Hard prey. An enormous beak capable of tearing through plate titanium, and 4 dexterous tentacles tipped with sharp bioglass claws imply that the collector specializes... Friends? Is it the Deepwing Brooders? Oh, I don't know. I don't think so. Not yet. Okay, anyway. They might be coming, but we'll see. Hard prey, blah, 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 blah. Four dexterous tentacles tipped with sharp bioglass claws imply that the collector specializes in prying or tearing open heavily armored prey. That's why they don't like our tadpole. Possibly prey fauna include the coral crab and great jaw. Makes sense. Granted, it's like not near those two things. The need to defeat armored active prey may have evolved a curious and aggressive psychology. Broadcast organ, this huge, many-chambered organ, is a biological phased array sonar. Multiple speakers and ears allow the collector to broadcast complex multi-part pulses. Dense innervation connects this organ to the toroidal brain. Patterns of bioluminescence may be direct reflections of the collector's brain activity. W-shaped pupil. In the bright light, the pupil creases into a W, so similar to cuttlefish. This trait was present in Earth cephalopods, but its function was not determined before the Holocene collapse. Abyssal gigantism. Organisms from the deep sea are often very large, a phenomenon known as abyssal gigantism, which is true. You see that also with polar gigantism. Ophelia, what are you playing with? Anyway, because they can afford to be big down there. Assessment. Hunters with varied and difficult diets are likely to be intelligent and inquisitive, and a predator's curiosity may appear to prey as arbitrary torture. Any small submersible or habitat is likely to draw the collector's interest. Well, don't love that for us. Okay.